but now it is gradually age is shifting from older to younger. So more and more younger populations are affected by breast cancer in our country. And you see the rising incidence per thousand population. If you see it is 2006 data, it is gradually increasing the entire range of the breast cancer. The breast cancer in India has a poorer outcome than the Western countries. So why it is so? Because in our country, the most of the women presented in advanced stage in our hospitals, and there is no mammography screening program in our country. So even the women which may present with the lump, even in the rural area or remote areas in the uh, cities also, the mammography screening program is not going to happen. And there is lack of awareness among the women regarding this breast cancer. The women health cancer not addressed properly in our country. And there is lack of medical care and infrastructure regarding the breast cancer management as a whole. So a data presented that the late presentations will hamper the survival of the patient. If you see the overall 5-year survival in the breast cancer has increased from 75% in 1970 to almost 89% in the current scenario. And there are barely any similar statistics of India available, but rough estimation of the data that its figure is not even more than 60%. So our country, the survival is very less. And if you see the most important reason for lack of awareness about the breast cancer and screening of the breast cancer in our country. And more than 50% of the patients with breast cancer presented in stage 3 and stage 4. And in the Western nation, they have achieved steadily improved the good survival mainly because of screening of the breast cancer. So increasing the awareness among the women regarding the breast cancer is important. And that is because in younger women it is more aggressive. So cancer in young because more of the younger patients have some BRCA mutations, as Madam already discussed that BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutations are present. So most of the patients have aggressive breast cancers. And especially if you see the other receptor positivity, hormone receptor, and this HER2 positivity, so it is higher among the younger women, this HER2 positivity, as well as the triple negative breast cancers. So these cancers are more aggressive than the hormone positive breast cancers. So now come, what are the risk factors for the breast cancer? So different risk factors have been broadly categorized as the personal risk factors and environmental risk factors. First comes as a gender. So simply being a woman is the main risk factor for developing the breast cancer, although it is affecting the male also. But in the women's, the breast cancer is common just because they are women, they have breast. So it is considering that women have a more incidence, but also the male are affecting by these cancers. Second is the age. So as you getting older, you have more chances for the development of the breast cancer. So as the age is increasing, the chances of breast cancer has been increased. Similarly, the first child after 35 years of age, so the late marriages in our country, so that is the cause of breast cancer in some populations. So early marriage and first child before 35 years of age is prevent this breast cancer. Similarly, the starting of menopause after 50 years of age and being begin in younger age more than 12 years. So early menopause, early menarche and late menopause have a longer sexual life, and that is causing more chances of breast cancer. Another cause is the overweight. So being overweight after the menopause is slightly increased as a woman's to risk for the breast cancer, and body fat affected the hormones levels. The hormone replacement therapy, the risk of the breast cancer is likely to increase in longer one take hormone replacement therapy for different causes. The contraceptive pills, although it is controversy, but there is some data that estrogenic uh, contraceptive pills, if you take longer time, they increase the risk of breast cancer. And no breastfeeding. The longer a woman which is not fed their baby to breastfeedings and they put their child on the outside feeding, so the breastfeeding protect for the breast cancer. So if you are not breastfeeding to their children's, then the chances of breast cancer is very high. Other lifestyle disorders includes the use of tobacco, use of alcohol, lack of exercise, red meat consumption, and some protective factors which is lacking like physical activity, stay close to ideal body weight, green leafy vegetable, fresh fruits. If you are not close to these, like you are not practicing physical activity, if you are not maintaining your body weight, if you are not taking green leafy vegetable and fresh fruits regularly, then chances of breast cancers are high. Then the family history. The genetic form of breast cancer, like BRCA1, BRCA2 positivity. So they share the genetic makeup and lifestyle, similar in environment exposure. All these factors are in similar family. So they may be cause of breast cancer in the families. So breast cancer risk factors are controllable and they are some factors which cannot be changed. So controllable factors are the obesity, exercise, breastfeeding, alcohol consumption, hormone replacement therapy, birth control pills, not having children, and overexposure to pesticides and herbicides. So these factors can be controlled. So if you maintain the adequate body weight, taking regular exercises, breastfeeding to children, not taking consumption of alcohol, no birth pills and no replacement therapy, and having children will protect from the breast cancer. And some factors which you cannot change, like age. The increasing age is always increasing the risk for breast cancer. Similarly, the family history, some races, treatment with some hormone therapy, radiation, genetic factors, and reproductive history, menstrual history. These are not modifiable. So what is in your hand is these factors like control of weight, adequate proper diet, exercise, all these things will control. So why it is important that breast cancer awareness and early diagnosis can save the lives and save the breast also. Now come to the what is the commonest complaint by the patient. Majority are asymptomatic, but sometimes patient may present with the breast pain or maybe present with a breast lump. Sometimes it may present with the nipple discharge or sometimes there is infections. The symptoms is presents like swelling all over part of the breast, skin irradiation or dimpling. There may be breast or nipple pain, nipple retraction, redness, scaliness, thickness of the nipple or breast skin, and nipple discharge other than the breast milk, like fluid discharge, some red blood discharge, or some foul smell discharge, or some greenish discharge. They may be indication for some breast underlying disease. The skin change may be redness or maybe orange skin appearance. So this orange skin appearance may be indication for some underlying malignancy also. Now come to the screening of the breast cancer. So you can screen the breast cancer. So early diagnosis may be possible. The first screening part is the self breast examination. So the women are advised to examine their breast by themselves. So at least if any change, any lump or any discharge from nipple, they find they can contact to the clinician. And second is the clinical breast examination. So it has been advised that yearly clinical examination by expert breast physician or surgeon, they can contact them and get their breast examined by the physicians. So at least he or she can check any lump or something is there or not. Then annual mammogram after age of 40. So it is recommended that after age of 40, that every woman should examine their breast by annual mammogram. And early diagnosis is important. They can increase the chance of survival. So now come to the first is the breast self-examination. So it we encourage more women for the breast self-examination. It may help in early detection and treatment of breast cancer. So breast self-examination includes the regular and systematic palpation of the breast by a woman herself to assess for any abnormalities. So it is recommended that after age of 20 years, a woman must regularly do their breast self-examination and must be evaluated by clinician at least once every few years. And up to the age of 40, this all is needed. So how to do this breast self-examination? So it is recommended that during shower, at least once in a week, we can examine breast ourselves, and the method of examination that it not to be done regularly, but at least done once in a month or twice in a month, mainly in the 7th to 10th day after the first day of period, menstrual cycle, and same day every month if you are not menstruating. So during this period, it is easier to examine and the palpation is easy. So because in the premenstrual period, the glands may be engorged, breast may be engorged, so it is difficult to identify the lump if it is present in the breast. So it is advisable that after 7th to 10th day of or mid-cycle, you can examine your breast. So examination in standing and laying down, both breast with flat hands, check for the size and shape of the breast, any puckering of the skin, discoloration, or alteration of the nipple. So this is a stepwise guide. Like during the shower, you can check for the breast standing in front of the mirror and check for the any abnormality. You see the shape of the both side of the breast, both side of the nipple, any dimpling, any change in the skin, or any change like orange peel appearance, or any change in the nipple or discharge. Then raise the both arm and check for the dimpling or see the level of both side of the nipple is in the same level. If it is up and down or one breast is lower, one breast is upper, or if there is a puckering any area, you can see by examinations. And then taut your pectoralis muscle. So if you taut your pectoralis muscle, if there is any underlying tumor, it may contract. So contracting that leading to dimpling over the breast. So by this method, you can check for any underlying tumor. And then you can palpate the breast. The systematic palpation is important. Palpate through the use of your flat hand and not by the just tip of the finger. So use the pulp of the finger to examine the breast, and these are the three methods, different methods. Either you examine circular methods by outwards to inwards, from examine from outside and then going inside, or from left to right, up and down, inferior, superior, gradually, or from radial methods, like every quadrant is examined from central to lateral. So these are the three different methods by which you can examine the breast and find out any lump is there underlying the breast. And lastly, you examine the nipple. You just compress this between the two fingers and see if any discharge is there, and that discharge is from either from the single duct or from the multiple duct, and check for the color, smell, and amount of the discharge. Then you can lay down and again examine the entire breast in laying down position. So at least you can find out if any small tumor in the breast. Now come to the sign and symptoms of the any lump or lesion or breast tumor. What are the different signs and symptoms? First, the change in size or shape of the breast. So if the breast is change in size, one is small, another is large. If there is change in size, it may be
अरे कोई नहीं कर पाता अच्छा सेल्फ एग्जामिन और
another
ये
is the puckering of the
Excuse me, can you please, Dr. Gyanchan, please, we have to make sure that people don't talk while the lecture is going on. Girls, can you please mute yourself?
Can I continue, ma'am?
Yes, please, you may please.
Okay. So dimpling or puckering of the skin. So if you see, this is the dimpling, or if any, like in the breast, you know, the ligament of Cooper's are there. So any tumor is there, they can contract these ligaments, and so dimpling is there. So that shows there is some underlying disease in the breast. Then lump, on the palpation, you find there is lump or hard knot or thickening inside the breast or underarm area. That means there is some lump is there. So then nipple discharge. So either it may be spontaneous discharge, or after pressing you may find that there is single duct or multi duct discharge is there, that you can examine. Then itchy or scaly sores on the nipple areola complex. If it is there, it may be a lesion that may present like in Paget's disease. It may present like a scaly skins over the nipple areola complex. Then new pain on the spot that does not go away. So any spot, if you find out and it is increasing and showing some pain, either spontaneous pain or it is maybe on touching, pain on the touching. So it may indicate that there is some lesion inside the breast. Then pulling of the nipple. So if the nipple is retracted inside, that also indicates that either there is a lesion in the duct or there is some lesion which is contracting to the ligaments or the ducts inside. So the nipple is retracted inside. Then swelling, warm, redness or darkening of the breast. If it is present over the any breast, that also indicates some lesion inside the breast. So once you examine the self-examination, then finally, annually you should attend to any physicians for the clinical breast examination. And the clinician examine your breast and they found that either there is a lump is present or not present. Then they may ask for the mammography. So mammography technique is just X-ray, but it is the entire breast is compressed between the two plates, and either an craniocaudal view or mediolateral view. So two views are there. One is compressing from cranium to caudal, and X-ray is projecting from upside down or from medial to lateral. So these two views are there. So this is mediolateral oblique view, and you see that in this breast there is a lesion which is irregular in shape. So chances of malignancy may be there. And also you see the lymph nodes are enlarged into the axilla, that also be seen by the mammography. Then breast ultrasound. It is also important, like the lesions is present in this ultrasound picture and showing the hypoechoic, ill-defined, and non-oval lesion is taller than the wider and post-acoustic surgery. So these are the indication for malignancy. Then needle biopsy. So if you find any tumor on the mammography or ultrasound, then ultrasound guided or blend core biopsy is important to check for the cytologically needle core biopsy. It is 95% accurate, or cytology alone cannot differentiate invasive versus in situ cancer sometimes. And also the suboptimal ER, PR, and HER2 on immunohistochemistry. So therefore, the core biopsy is important before giving any chemotherapy or any definitive treatment for these breast cancer patients. So what are the different stages? The stage 0 is the tumor within the duct. Stage 1 is the tumor only in the breast. Stage 2 is the tumor both in breast and axilla. Stage 3 is the tumor involving overlying skin or chest wall. And stage 4 is the spread of the tumor in the other body parts like liver, lung, brain, bones. So these are the different area where usually the breast cancer is spread to the other parts of the body. So during self-examination or clinical examination or any examination, if you find something in your breast, so don't be panic. Meet any breast specialist or any doctors, and most of the time the breast lump are benign. So if you find on palpation, if you find any lump, so majority of the time it is non-cancerous. Sometimes only 5 to 10% is times it is cancerous. So don't be panic. Meet any physician or specialist, and they will check your lump and investigate it and finally diagnose whether it is benign and malignant, and then give you the adequate treatment. So what are the different treatment? So breast cancer management require multidisciplinary approach. Like in our institute, surgeons, radiologists, radiation oncologists, medical oncologists, pathologists, and nuclear medicine physicians. So all these entire team is required for the management of the breast cancer. The treatment options are surgery, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, hormone therapy, immunotherapy, or biological therapy. So the breast conservative surgery are nowadays is practicing. So the entire breast is no need to remove if you diagnosed early breast cancer. So the only tumor along with 1 to 2 centimeter breast tissue is removed. So the breast is preserved. So that's why it is called as once you diagnosed early, so you preserve the life as well as preserve the breast. So if you diagnose early, then you can remove only the tumor along with the 1 to 2 centimeter around the tumor. That is known as lumpectomy. If it is late, then white excisions. If it is larger tumor, then entire quadrant. And if it is large, then entire breast have to be removed. So after surgery, the patients require radiation therapy. So the radiation therapy is given in such a manner that it prevents the radiation to the vital structures like lung, heart, or other parts of the body. So it's given in such a manner that only the breast is included, or axilla or lymph nodes, whatever lymph nodes are involved, that is, and prevent the radiation injury to the vital visceral organs in the body. The chemotherapy. So chemotherapy is highly effective. It may be curative or palliative. And after surgery, which chemotherapy is given is known as adjuvant chemotherapy. And if this chemotherapy is given before surgery, that is known as neoadjuvant chemotherapy. In advanced breast cancer, it is primary chemotherapy, or in combinations of different chemotherapy agents like anthracycline, taxanes, or some anti-HER2 therapy. Then come to the hormone therapy. Some hormone positive breast cancers treated with the hormone therapy, especially the premenopausal patients that treated with the tamoxifen or ovarian ablation by surgical or medical means. And then if the postmenopausal or after ovarian ablation, you can give the aromatase inhibitors. So these are the hormone therapy for the hormone positive breast cancers. Then some biological therapy like anti-HER2 therapy or other therapies like Lepetinib or Bevacizumab. So different type of therapies are available nowadays. So we can prevent and treat the patients. So why diagnosis of breast cancer early is needed? Because it is a curable disease, and if you detect early, you can cure the patients. So also, if you see that if the tumor is in situ, stage 0, the 100% 5-year survival is there. If it is stage 1 tumor, less than 2 centimeter, 100% survival, 5-year survival. If it is tumor up to the lymph node, then 93% survival. If it is spreading to the other group of lymph nodes, 72%. And if it is spreading to the other organs of the body along with the breast cancer, that 5-year survival is only 22%. So that's why early detection is very important. If you see that in situ as well as the tumor less than 5 centimeter or not spreading to the axilla, then the 100% survival is there. So breast cancer is a fatal disease, but early breast cancers, 90% 20-year survival. If you see, 90% patients have 20-year survivals. And if the cancer is operable, 66%, locally advanced cancer, 33%, and metastatic cancer, only 5% patients have survival up to 2 years. So why the breast cancer awareness is required? Because early diagnosis can save the life and save the breasts. So finally, we remember that all women are at risk and risk to increases with age, and finding breast cancer early may save your lives. A complete breast health plan includes the mammography, breast cell examination, clinical examination, and your health is your business. If your doctor hasn't mentioned the need of mammogram, ask for yourself to go for mammography. So the take-home message is that breast cancer is most common cancer in humans, also affecting the younger women, and breast cell examination to be done all the women more than 20 years of age. Screening mammography should be performed in all healthy women older than 40 years, and cure is possible if the breast cancer detected early and treated properly. Thank you very much.